Hi, Wayne here from Sears PartsDirect. Today we're going to help you figure out what's wrong when a coil burner on your range won't heat. A failed coil service element, wiring failure, or broken control switch can keep the element from working. In this video, I'll guide you through the troubleshooting steps to help you figure out which part failed. You need a nut driver to remove the back shield on the range control panel. For electrical checks, you'll need a multimeter. Before you start, unplug the range to disconnect electrical power. First, let's check for a broken service element. With the element cool to the touch, pull it out. Using the multimeter, measure the resistance through the element prongs. The meter should measure between 20 and 40 ohms if the element is good. Replace the element if the meter measures infinite resistance. If the element's okay, we'll check the wiring between the element switch and the element. Lift the cooktop and check the wiring connections on the element's terminal block. You'll have to replace the wiring harness and terminal block if the wires are disconnected, the insulation around the wires is melted, or the plastic body of the terminal block is melted. Check the wiring between the element's terminal block and the back of the range. Replace the wiring harness if it's melted or otherwise damaged. If you find no visible wiring damage, note the colors of wires going to the element. On this range, brown. Then lower the cooktop and reinstall the surface element. Even if you can't see it, a break inside the insulation or other wiring damage could prevent the element from heating. So let's check resistance through the wiring from the control switch to make sure everything is okay. Pull the range forward so you can remove the screws that hold the back shield on the control panel and pull off the shield. Find the control switch for the service element that isn't working. This switch has plastic wire harness connectors that you can only insert in the correct location, but it's always a good idea to take a picture to help you reconnect them later. Disconnect the wires going to the element. Measure resistance through the wires that supply power to the service element that's not working, those brown wires you noted earlier. The meter should measure approximately the same resistance as it measured through the coil element, 20 to 40 ohms. If the meter measures infinite resistance, a break in the wiring is preventing the element from heating. Replace the wire harness between the element switch and the element. If the wiring between the switch and the element is okay, check the internal contacts in the element switch. Pull the remaining wires off. The spades have labels L1, H1, L2, H2. When you turn the switch on, internal contacts in the service element control switch let current flow from the L1 spade to the H1 spade and from the L2 spade to the H2 spade. Each set of spades supplies 120 volts of the 240 volts required to heat the element. If either contact is broken, current won't flow and the element won't heat. Let's start by checking the L1 to H1 contact using a multimeter. Turn on the service element control knob. With your multimeter set to measure resistance, touch one meter lead to the L1 spade and the other to the H1 spade. If the multimeter measures OL, the internal switch contact isn't working, so you need to replace the service element control switch. This should fix your burner heating problem. If the measurement is near 0 ohms of resistance across these spades, the first internal contact is sending current to the service element. To test the second contact, touch one meter lead to the L2 spade and the other meter lead to the H2 spade. If the multimeter measures OL, replace the service element control switch, because this contact isn't sending current to the element through the spades. If it measures near 0 ohms of resistance across L2 and H2, the control switch is okay. Because we've confirmed that the element switch, and the wiring from the switch to the element are all okay, we know that a break in the wires supplying current to the element control switch is preventing the element from heating. Remove the back panel to access the terminal block. Now we'll check the black wire that connects to the L1 spade on the surface element control switch. Measure the resistance between the end of the black wire that connects to L1 and the black wire on the terminal block. If the wire is okay, the multimeter will measure near 0 ohms. A measurement of OL means the wire is broken, so you'll need to find and repair the break. If the black wire is okay, measure the resistance between the red wire that connects to L2 and the red wire on the terminal block. If the wire is okay, the multimeter will measure near 0 ohms of resistance. If not, find and repair the break. Reconnect the wires to the element switch and reassemble the range. There, you're ready to start using the coil element again. We hope this video helped you out today. Check out the other videos on the Sears PartsDirect YouTube channel. Subscribe, and we'll let you know when we post new videos. A break inside the insulation, and I didn't say that right, inside the insulation, or other wiring damage could prevent the elements from heating. You had it. I know it.